Hey, what is up, everyone? It is Doug here with Retro Geek Gaming, bringing you another video discussion. And yes, as you can tell by the lighting around me, it is nighttime. It is 2 o'clock in the morning, my time. And this is the reason why I hate my brain. Because it decided that it wanted to think and it wanted to discuss things and it wanted to clear out a lot of stuff, and I came up with a fan theory video that I decided I wanted to share with you because I'm sure that between now and in the morning when I would get an opportunity to record it, I would probably get busy, forget about it, or just be like, you know what, I'm just going to do it another time because I've gotten busy and just never get around to it and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and do it now, get it over with, so if you'll just bear with me. And of course, make sure that you put your thoughts down below about what you think about this particular theory or idea, if you will, whatever you want to call it. Now, the idea, in case you can't tell from the title, is for Star Fox on the Switch. Now, I like this trend that Nintendo is doing of reinventing their games. They did it with Zelda Breath of the Wild. They appear to be doing it with Mario Odyssey. And hopefully this will be a trend going forward with a lot of their other franchises, including Star Fox. Now, I haven't done a video yet about what I want to see from Nintendo from E3. I'm going to be doing that soon, probably sooner than I would like. Not wait till closer to E3, but probably just go ahead and get it done sooner than that. But with Star Fox, I came up with this idea, and I'm going to share it with you, and hopefully you guys like it. If you don't, put that down in the comments. If you do like it, put that down in the comments. So just share what you want to see from Star Fox, whether it's still the traditional gameplay like what we got with Star Fox Zero, where it shows a map and you just do levels one by one, and you have different paths based upon how you play, or if you liked my idea, or just whatever. Now, for Star Fox on the Switch, what I want to see is basically open, non-linear, but kind of linear gameplay. And what I mean by that is that I would love to have one path. One path. Think about it as the level doesn't end. Basically, you go to an area, you'll do your missions or whatever, you'll face the first level boss, and they'll probably say something like mission complete and all that stuff. But then, rather than everybody leaves and you go to the map and all that stuff and you just continue on, instead what happens is you continue to fly. And Peppy or Sergeant Pepper or just General Pepper or whoever would be in charge in this game would call in, and they'd give you two choices. Basically, you can either go to this planet and save these people, or you can go to this asteroid belt and stop this calamity from happening or whatever, and you got to choose the path that you wanted to take, and then you would just fly off and you'd go there. There might be some loading times, there might be a cut scene or something, whatever Nintendo wants to do, that's their choice. But then you just keep going. And I think that would be great, because then there is one path. You don't know the map. You don't know how many areas there are. You don't know how many paths there are. It kind of becomes a little bit more like Star Fox Command, where there's multiple endings based upon the path that you take and the choices that you choose. And I also think that it would be interesting for some reason to have permadeath in this game. I don't know why. I just seem to like the idea of just like, look, if I want to send Slippy Toad to his death over in this mission, he's dead, and he stays dead. And I think that would also bring some interesting game mechanics as well, because maybe if you enter a mission where you need 4 people, maybe you have to call upon Crystal, or maybe you have to call upon even someone from the Star Wolf team, or just, somebody to help you out in the mission. And I also would like to see that, because I think that would bring some interesting dynamics in, because again, maybe the choice that you make leads to Falco's death, and that has a really heavy toll on Star Fox, so he can't do the next mission. So now Star Wolf decides to step up or something, or maybe to get revenge because maybe Star Wolf killed Falco. Fox goes after him. You know what I'm saying? Like the paths could change based upon all the stuff that could happen. And then what would be great is if there would be 4 decisions in each stage. So basically what would happen is, in my idea, you would have the main path that you would follow, the normal path that you just follow, the normal boss that you fight, and then of course the 2 decisions. But there's also a hidden path. Maybe to the right, maybe you have to shoot down this gate or something to go through there, and it leads to another boss with 2 more decisions. So this way you have the opportunity in every single stage to basically have all these different paths you can take, all these different endings that could show up. I think it'd be really great. It kind of reminds me a little bit of doing this game that I played recently called Stories, Path of Destinies, in which basically you would play through the level as normal, but then it would get to a point to at the end of the game, the narrator would give you 2 options or 3 options to choose from, and then you would move on to the next stage. Something like that would be great to do with this. I think it would be really interesting for Star Fox, because I think that, one, if you're used to the the Zelda formula, the Star Fox formula, you know that there's going to be different paths. You're going to recognize the different areas, and you'll be able to find these different paths or whatever. But for the people who are new to the series, they can get a more cinematic experience. The game can feel like it's one linear path, and then that's it. And then maybe they can discover later that there's different endings. So they go back and they try to make a different decision. Then they find out later that there's a different path. At least, like, there's all kinds of neat stuff that they could do with this. And then I would also like to see online. And I think the online would be the key thing of this game, because they could keep bringing out different missions. And for the online, they could do kind of like an I think it was Assassin's Creed Unity that did it, in which they could have games, certain missions that require maybe only 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, or 4 people. So therefore, if you only manage to find 2 people to play online, well, then you go to a special mission, or you go to the mission, but it's altered to only work for 2 people. Kind of like how, what was it? 4 Swords did, in which, you know, the dungeon would change based upon the number of players that you have. I think that that's something that would just be great here too. Or something similar to that. Voice chat would obviously want to be able to be done in the game, because it would be easier to communicate what you want to do. Because in my version of online, there would probably be different paths they'd be taken. Maybe somebody's being shot down. Maybe somebody's playing on foot. Maybe somebody's playing in a Land Rover, and different stuff is happening. You need to be able to communicate with, you know, with different people. And yes, I mentioned on foot because I want to see different missions as well. I think that it'd be really great to see some underwater levels in which, you know, your R-Wing turns into a sub. Of course, the Land Rover thing where you're on land playing as a tank. I would like to see basically what they did with the R-Wing in Zero Return, where you can go down on land and be bipedal. And I would also like to see some on-foot missions. And if you want to make the on-foot missions be the bipedal ones, that's fine. But I like the idea of being able to go into like a base, because maybe in order to unlock the secondary path or something, you have to go in and you have to maybe, you know, pull this lock or whatever. You and another player have to coordinate at the same time to like shoot these different things that opens up the gate, and then you can leave and go, you know? I think it would be great. And then again, based upon the number of players, maybe there's a certain way to where different objectives have to be done by 4 players at the same time. Stuff like that. I think it'd be really great. I think it's just going to be a really neat thing. And if done right by Nintendo, it could really reinvent Star Fox in a new way that new people can experience it. Old fans can love it because they still get the great gameplay that they get from it. And you can experiment around with different paths. And I think that it'd be interesting. I think there'd be a lot of stuff. It kind of makes me feel like it would be like Zelda Breath of the Wild, in which you're discovering new stuff all the time, because maybe you didn't realize that by taking this path, you know, Slippy dies. And so suddenly it's just like, oh man, Slippy is gone. What do I do now? you know, or maybe you make a really big mess up and you split the team incorrectly, and so Falco dies, and that makes like a huge difference in the story or something like that. Like it would just be so great to experiment around and do all this various stuff. And I think that Star Fox needs that because there's nothing wrong with the linear gameplay that we've been getting, but if I can just be honest, I kind of like Star Fox Command because of the fact that we got that gameplay from it, but I also got to choose the path that the different people took, and I got to get different endings based upon how I played. So I really would like to see that come back for the Switch. It doesn't have to be, the drawing the paths out and all that stuff like Star Fox Command. I'm just basically saying that rather than a mission end and then you go to a map and then all that jazz, like we've been showing, and you see all the different areas on the map, it just keeps going. Again, maybe you just beat the boss, and as you're flying away, they're just like, which path do you want to take? You go there, it loads, and then you swoop in and continue on with the game. I think it'd be really great. I think it'd be really cool. Also throw in, of course, like I mentioned before, cut scenes, voice acting, all that jazz would be really great. Go the extra mile, Nintendo, for Star Fox, and I really do think that you can get a hit on your hands. But that's just my 2 cents, guys. What do you think about this fan theory? Do you think that it could work for Nintendo? Or do you think they just need to stick to the tried and true gameplay that they've been doing pretty much ever since the original Star Fox and Star Fox 64? Love to hear what you guys have to say. I apologize for the long rant, and I apologize that it's so late, but I appreciate you guys watching. As always, have a good one, and I'll see you next time.